So I'm going to have some yellow, some orange. I'll actually keep the pink on the table. And then I'll have some blues. And always have to have loads of ink when you're doing colouring. Some blues and maybe a purpley colour, darker purple to give some tone. And then I will be using my black to kind of create a horizon. So I'll have some black ink. So I know it's quite a lot of inks, but you'll see how it kind of develops. So I'm going to start with some yellow ink, just using crushed curry here. And I'm going to come in to the center with my blending brush, and I'm going to just add some yellow ink. Okay, just spreading it out a little bit. So coming in with that yellow. And then I'm going to pop my little half circle down now. And I'll just pop that in the middle here. Well, roughly in the middle, maybe a little bit higher up actually. Right, so about there. It's just on the glue dot and it's stuck down. And now I'm gonna go over it with the yellow again. So just go over with the yellow. And then I'll bring in some orange. So I'm going to move to the orange. This is pumpkin pie. And then I'm going to, oh, that's quite a heavy bit. So I'm going to just take that heaviness off. I've got very heavy there on the side. So I'm just going to take that off. And then I'm going to come in with the orange. And I'm going to just blend over. It's very juicy, that one, actually. I wasn't expecting that to be so juicy. And just blend that out. A little bit deeper with the orange. Careful of my little. Okay. And then I'm going to come in with some pink, I think, the pink. Now I'll grab the pink. It's just doing the pinks. There's probably quite a lot of ink on this already. And I'm going to actually come in from the side now with the pink. And then kind of come around. So really creating like a circle, maybe-ish. Around, just going through the yellow and the orange and just extending out with that pink. Okay, like that. And then I'm going to come in with a purple. I've got Elegant Eggplant. I know it's an old one, but it's a darker purple, and that's really what I want. I want to sort of darken up now. I want to be careful. I mean, this maybe isn't too inky, so I'm going to come in at the sides and just create some depth. Just come in at the side there. And I always start off the card and then come onto the card. So off the card and then onto the card. Okay. And all I'm doing here is just creating depth. Okay, and I'll bring that round a little bit, but I won't bring that the whole way across. This is really just concentrating. The darker purple is just concentrating on the sides and kind of making a little sort of halo, but not coming right the way round. Okay, so you've just got this kind of side, two sides going on there. Okay. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do top and bottom with blue. So I'll come in with a pale blue, and I've got Marina Mist because I know it's inky. So I'm going to come in with this blue. And again, I'm starting off the page and then coming in. I need to clean this brush, I think. So starting off and coming in and just covering the white, and come down and blend into the ink that you've already put on the card. So come down and blend in. Okay, so come down and blend into those other colors. But you're just going to cover all of that white with that light blue. And I'm going to turn it around and do the same on the other side. So I'm going to come down. Always starting off the page. I know I forgot a couple of times when I did the top, but that's fine. So starting off and then coming on. Okay, and then I need to blend in a little bit more around where those colors mix. So I'm going to just bring that blue into that sort of circle. Oh, coming off. Just here, blending that in. Oops. And then coming in and blending that in just along that line, just to get a graduation of color so that you're not, there is a point that you want to be drawn to, but I just want to, you know, just blend those colors together. Okay. And then I'm going to come in with a darker blue. So I've got Pacific Point here. Just see if I've got a darker. That's a darker blue, I think, already there. So I'm going to come in, and with this, I'm going to come around the edges. This is a really rich, very like azure blue, I think. So I'm going to come in. And I want to leave some of the light blue that I've already popped on the page. So I'm going to just concentrate on doing this in the top sort of inch of the card and bringing it down. So, but it's still leaving a kind of brightness here. Okay. So just blending that through in an arc, I would say, is what you're doing. So you're blending it in an arc. Got some brush lines there. I'll just soften that. And then I'm going to come down and blend that in to the edge of the purple as well. So coming down, blending that in. And I'm going to do the same on the other side. So just blending into that purple, just on the edge. And then I'm going to do the same on the bottom half. I'm going to give this darker blue. I'm going to come in and just create an arc. Okay, so I still want some of the light color, but I want this darker blue around the bottom. Oops, just got that right on my finger. Better get rid of that before I do something silly with that. Okay, and as I say, you want some light still showing, and then I'm going to come back up and just get a little bit heavier up here. Oops. Right. Okay, kind of happy with that, I think. So now I'm going to come back in with the purple and do a little bit of heaviness on the side, and then I'm going to bring in a template to create a horizon. I'm just going to bring that deeper purple in just to give some real contrast now. Okay, I think that's, should probably do a little bit around the top. Just to add a little bit of a halo maybe. Yeah, there we go, that's nice. Okay, so I'm going to create a horizon, and I'm going to do that well, if I had some post-it notes, I would do it with post-it notes, but I wasn't so prepared. So I'm going to just get some scrap paper and just tear it to create a horizon line. Let me just have a look. So as I say, I want to create a horizon line. So I'm going to just make a wavy line with some paper. So I'll just tear, and I want to, have a little bit of I don't want it to be straight, I want a wavy, because I want to create some interest. I've got to put the lid on the purple, or I'll end up putting that hand in that. And I'm going to get a darker color, so maybe like maybe a blackberry bliss, possibly. Maybe fresh fig, actually, something a bit more fresh fig. I'll go with and see what that looks like to start with. So I'm going to take my little sun, or my little circle off. Get rid of my glue dot. There we go. And I'm going to start by, so we've got this very bright sort of sun here. And I'm going to pop my paper down. And I should probably like that. And then what I want to do is protect the top as well. So, because I don't want all of my sun obviously to get covered. So I'm just going to do a little, if we do it that way. I'm going to pop a little bit so that I've just got this line, and I'll bring it down because I obviously don't want to have a hard line where my sun starts. So let's just do it about there. And I'm going to come in with the fresh fig, which is quite a browny color. So let's just see what it looks like. And I'm going to just fill in this gap with the, need that a little bit lower down, fill in the gap. So let's just try this and see what happens. So I'm going to just fill in the gap. And for now, I'm just going to hold this in place. So I'm just kind of creating some interest on the horizon line. So I'm coming in with a brown color first. Okay, and I'm just brushing downwards. Okay, to create a like a mountain range, or that's the idea. You're creating like a little mountain range. So I'm going to go in with the fresh fig first to give like a reddy color, and then I'm going to come in with my black and go over. So let's just see, going in with black. So get my black, and I'm being very careful to just get my paper lined up. And then I'll come in and I'll basically using a downward stroke, I'm going to just come in with the black. Okay, and I'm just going in that little gap, and I'm just brushing down. So hopefully you'll still get the fresh fig showing through, but you'll get a kind of silhouette effect with the black. That's the idea anyway, so we'll see what happens. Okay, so let's have a wee look at what we've got. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a harder horizon line now, because I've kind of got my interest, and I'm going to turn my paper over, and I'm going to lay down my paper that way, and I'll lay down my paper, and I'll keep that way. Oh, I shouldn't have moved that one, should I? Oh, it's all right. That's perfect. And then I'm going to go back in with the fresh fig. So I'm just going to be really careful And I'm going to do, just repeat what I've just done. So I'm going to come in with the fresh fig. And then I'll go over it with the black. We'll just, excuse me. Trying to, if I had my sticky notes, it would be easier, but we'll work with it. I just need to make sure, oh, I think that's all right, actually. Just need to make sure I get the hard line on that edge. I'll just lift that a little bit just so it's distinguished, I think. We'll see what it looks like. And then I'm going to come back in with my black now. All right, just gone over with my black. Oops. All right. Okay. Oops. We look and see where we're at. Yeah, that's all right, I think. I just need to get a little bit in this, on this edge here, just to kind of give it a little bit of definition that there's stuff going on behind there on the horizon. So let me just flatten that and flatten that, because I've obviously just missed a little bit. Just get a little bit of a hard line there, just so you can see that the land still kind of carries on. And there's something going on over there. Perfect. Okay, so I've ended up with this kind of little island of rockery and all sorts, maybe a fingerprint, but hey, we'll deal with that. And now I'm going to stamp some interest on this. So what I'll do is I will turn my paper over so that you've got a nice white background, so that we're not lost in the inking, and you can see it a bit better now. So here we have our inking, and now I'm going to add some interest with these stamps. So I've got some fairies and some trees, and these are silhouette stamps by Katie Sue Designs. And I just really like them. They're like Lavinia stamps, so they're just, you know, this is one that I'm going to use to add some interest. So I'm going to start by getting the tree, and I'll have to do this in my stamper artist, I think, to be fair, just to get a really good dark silhouette. But I want the tree to come across the top. Let's just see how we can get this to anchor down. So I'm going to have to put it just up against that line, I think. Got very inky fingers. I have to be very aware of that because I've already smudged. But I might be able to use my rubber and rub that out. To be fair, I'll try. Anyway, I'm going to add some black ink now. So with the tree, so I'm going to stamp the ink on the tree. And I'll have to do this a few times because I want it to get really, really dark, like silhouetted. So I'm going to do one layer. And as you can see, it definitely needs more than that. So we'll come in, put ink down on this stamp, come in. Probably need to do it 3 times, I think, to get a really, really, really deep. Yeah, I think one more, definitely, especially on the trunk. So I'm going to come in. And then really okay, so that trunk still doesn't look. Let's just try and get some ink on that trunk. I think it's my ink pad more than anything. I need to get a juicier ink pad or re-ink that. Speak that trunk, it's that bit there. Right, so now I've got my tree going across. So now what I want to do is add some interest at the bottom of the picture. So I'm going to come, oops, Daisy, pop that there, pop some down here. So I think I will just clean this one off. Oops. And then I'm going to get some, there's like a flower here. It's sort of like a daisy or something, I think. I'm going to get this. I'm going to bring this in. So let's have this maybe down here somewhere. So maybe a little bit lower down. So I'll just pop that on there like that. See if that will work. And then we'll, and I know I'm not stamping the whole lot of this one, so I shall just come in and stamp that. And then once again, I'm going to ink that up again. And that. That looks good, actually. Maybe one more time, do you think? Possibly. Oops. Yeah, that's good. And then I think what I'll do is I'll add some interest just at the bottom. There's like, there's a tree stamp here. So what I'm going to do, put that across for a second. So there's a tree here on this stamp, but I'm going to actually just use it as, not as a tree, but as like greenery, just foliage, I should say. Is I'm just going to pop it down here to give some foliage just coming in at that side now, I think. So I'll just come over, be careful with that one, and then I'm just going to ink up the branches of the tree and just come in with that, because I just want a little bit of interest on that bottom part there. And let's just see what that looks like. Oh no, it's moved. Very sticky stamps. I should have really conditioned them probably before I started using them. What's the best? I'll probably, well, I'll stamp. I think it's moved, but we'll stamp. I'm sure it has, hasn't it? Yeah, it has moved. Oh, anyway, not to worry. I'll come down, stamp that. So I'm going to get a little bit of shadowing on this, I think, because I've, yeah. Well, I'm going to come in and re-stamp anyway. I need to get better, I need to get this stamp pad re-inked because it's really naff. It needs to be a wee bit more juicy. Right, so pop that down. Let's have a look. That's fine. We can pop something on there. I'm not going to worry about that too much. And then what I'm going to do is, that's where the sentiment will have to go. I'm going to take the tree off and I'm going to bring in, I don't know how you make them less sticky. I'll have to ask you that whenever we're finished. What's the best thing to not have them so sticky, because these are very, very sticky. So I'm going to put a little fairy on the card now. So I'm going to have a little fairy just leaping off the dandelion, I think. So get it to stay put. So let's just try that. We'll have a little fairy just there. Oh, that's all right. Didn't move, so. Yeah, that looks good. And then there's some fairy dust that they can be throwing. So let's just see what the fairy dust on there. And then I could obviously add some glitter afterwards with a little glue pen and some sparkle. But for now, I'm just going to stamp the sparkle just the same as I've done so far. So that bit of sparkle gone out there. So I probably don't need to do that again. Okay. Looks pretty good. Yeah, that's perfect. So then whenever I take everything away, maybe put back, apart from a big thumbprint on the sun. Just take that so don't forget about it. Put that on there. Let's sort of that in a second, but let's have a look. I'm just gonna try and get the ink off my hands before I start touching this. So there we have a little scene with the fairy and the tree coming across. So if you imagine then that just layered up. If I had that layered up on the card, and then I can have a little circle sentiment down here to hide my faux pas on my tree. But apart from that, it's I enjoyed doing that.